Greetings folks, and welcome to an episode of, well, it's not going to be a gaming episode, it's going to be me rambling. Today we're talking about Brexit. Yeah, I went there. It's an old topic, I know, and it's been done into death, but I feel like there's there's parts of it that we haven't looked at or haven't been looked at least scrutinised correctly. And that is the buffoonery and tomfoolery of our political class. It's clear for us all to see. Why are they seemingly so incompetent or bumbling at the very least? We're going to look at the hows and whys of that. But to do that, we're going to have a quick trip back through history. Now, we've had a number of political systems in place in this country for going back through history. The one before our current one was, of course, a monarchy, I believe. Someone wishes to correct me on that, feel free. But effectively, our monarchistic regime or monarchistic leadership, those guys were replaced by merchants at the time, who became our current political class, so to speak, although our current political class has... We'll get into that in a sec. So we went from having a monarchistic regime, which worked to a certain extent for a time, but then started to fail because monarchies create enemies don't want to trade with each other, yada yada yada. The whole system was doomed to fail from the start, effectively. So we went into, we ended up with merchants in charge. You can history check that and fact check it, it's pretty much true. But people that took charge of the country after the monarchy were deposed had a certain amount of trade nuance. They knew what the hell they were doing. They could go to another country and arrange a deal with the politicians or the traders in that country and walk away with a damn good deal as well. This was very beneficial to us, long-term beneficial as well. This is kind of why we're at where we're at today, but also why we've kind of failed a little bit. You see, what happened was, after the Second World War, England joined the European Union. This was a good idea. It was a great idea at first. At first, this was a great idea because the idea was people of Europe wouldn't stop fighting, wouldn't fight anymore. We'd all get along and be happy, rosy people. But then Europe kind of grew and got bigger, and bureaucracy, red tape, and all of the bad things that, weren't in the initial ideals of Europe happened. What this led to was our political class then began trading inside a bubble in Europe. This was bad for our political class because they're trading inside a bubble. Everything's kind of guaranteed to a certain extent, which is why they're all quite resistant to the idea of Brexit in the first place. You can see it on the bulk. There are some outliers. I will hold my hands up and say there are some politicians who are outliers and who are all for Brexit, but the vast majority of them are dead set against it because a lot of them don't have any experience at all trading outside of Europe, or especially with smaller nations. They're not used to it. They don't have any experience, and that's why they're all dead set against Brexit in the first place, because it means that they're not quite up to the job anymore. At least not up to the job that the politicians who came before them, long before them, obviously. They're not up to their same standards. Unfortunately for us, this has resulted in, being in Europe has basically resulted in a brain drain for our nation. Our politicians, they're just not up to the standards that our older politicians were. they really aren't. They're also having to deal with a lot of new concepts and ideas. I mean, the internet is still, a lot of you have been born with the internet and raised with it. I understand that, it's been around for you guys since the start. For certain older people like me, I'm knocking on 40's door now. Yeah, I can remember when the internet was a brand new thing that hadn't been there before. Heck, I can remember when mobile phones weren't even a thing and we still only had landlines. Yeah, that's how old I am. But yeah, so we've ended up with a political class that are kind of out of their depth, both technologically and out of their depth in an international trade scenario as well. This is why they're all so terrified, frankly, and kind of acting like a bunch of bumbling buffoons, making bad decisions, making bad calls where the internet's concerned, where Brexit's concerned. Yeah, a good analogy would be, think of a boxer, a heavyweight title fighting boxer who then rests on his laurels, gets fat, gets lazy, because he's inside his I'm number one bubble. And then he gets knocked out of that bubble by a boxer that isn't fat and lazy. Yeah, that's a good analogy for how our politicians currently are. I'm not saying that they are actually in reality fat and lazy, but they're certainly not up to the task. At least not at the moment. How do we fix this problem? I have no idea. That's way out of my pay grade. Even talking about this is a little beyond me. If you feel that I'm incorrect by all means, hit that comment section. Beat the crap out of that. If you feel that there are other reasons, again, hit that comment section. Go for it. But with that said, yeah, I feel that I've said my piece, and yeah, thoughts, comments, as always, yeah, the comment section is down below. I've had WoW running in the background here, just for sort of entertainment purposes. Yeah, I've been playing WoW, don't hate me. I just wanted to see what the fuss was about how bad it's got. Ew, look at these action bars. Yeah, look at those. It's disgusting. Sorry, I play a hunter, and I played a hunter since classic vanilla WoW. I used to have like an action bar for ranged and an action bar for melee. Don't have that anymore. It's kind of disappointing, gonna be honest. Anyway, with that said, have fun, play safe, and I will catch you guys later.